Hi, this is Mark Fullweiler again. This is my 12th video in the series of leukemia testimony. And this one is addressing the kind of awkward issue of losing our hair during the chemotherapy treatment. Um, it's something almost unavoidable to anybody going through uh, chemo. There are a few rare exceptions where people do not lose the hair, but I, for one, am among those who, within, say, 2 weeks of getting my first dose of chemotherapy, began to see that it was dropping out in fairly big chunks while I would take a shower in the morning. And when that started happening, it was kind of a creepy feeling to be in the shower and having it, drop down. So I asked one of the nurse's aides that I heard, you know, cuts hair, asked if she would be willing to shave my head, and she was eager to do it. This is one of her favorite aspects of the job. So she came in with her clippers and cut the rest of my hair off. And yeah, that was a bit of a shock. That's when the impact of the treatment began to really hit, because now when I looked in a mirror, I looked different. With a lot of guys these days, they do shave their head. So it isn't totally abnormal for a man to have a bald head, but I had never done it. Um, and so when I would look in a mirror, all of a sudden I looked different. And this was kind of a reality check that uh, there was no avoiding it. I was now officially a cancer patient. And it took a little bit of acceptance, but it's part and parcel with the whole procedure. And again, a lot of my way through life is with humor. Um, so, in order to let other people off the hook that were uncomfortable with it, friends, family, all that, I decided to point it out myself and would refer to myself either as Uncle Fester from the Addams family, that quirky uncle with the shaved head. And so either I would call myself Uncle Fester, kind of making a joke out of it, or if you're old enough to remember, a kind of a macho actor named Yul Brenner back in the 50s and 60s, who was buff, ripped abs, and he was one of the first to shave his head, and it worked for him. So, in kind of as a joke, I lifted a picture of Yul Brenner from the internet where he was, standing there looking real tough with his bald head, and I sent this out to different friends and said that, I've, due to chemotherapy, I've lost a lot of my hair, and I look quite a bit like this, which of course it was a joke, but it uh, alleviated the stress from a lot of people feeling awkward looking at me, because they knew I was able to kind of laugh it off. This is part and parcel with the treatment. And it was just something I had to deal with. And I spent the greater part of 2011 hairless. My wife and I kind of joke around that that was the year there was no hair. Um, Again, our way through a lot of stresses, crises in life, is to look at it from the humorous side. Not to deny that it's going on, but you might as well laugh at yourself a little bit, because you have too many other larger fish to fry than worrying about hair. And I know maybe if you're a woman watching this, you're thinking, well, for a guy, it's easier to shave your head because, again, it's something a lot of guys are choosing to do these days. It's kind of in style. For a woman, not so much. And so there's the various, head coverings. They wear knitted caps, scarves, all that, hats. Um, and so, roughly for me, I was, first given my chemotherapy on February 23rd, and about 2 weeks later, I had shaved my head and was bald, and effectively stayed that way until approximately November of the same year. So there was, quite a few months where I was a cue ball. No hair on my head, no eyebrows, no eyelashes. And for the first time in life, I was able to step into the shoes of someone who is an anomaly in society, meaning, like if I were in a grocery store or out on the streets, people would do a double take. They'd look at me and look away and wonder, is this a shaved head by choice, or is this guy a cancer patient? Of course, having cancer is nothing to be ashamed of. It genetic mutation, it just happened, and I'm surviving, I'm going through it. It's nothing to be ashamed of, but it did me a little bit of good to be in the shoes of someone who is an anomaly in society. You know, we see it all the time. People with a limp or um, a little bit of facial disfigurement where, anyway, they're noticeable. They stand out. And I was never one of these. And I can tell you it actually did me a little bit of good to be in society and have people look at me a little bit different. And also gave me an opportunity on many occasions to give a positive report that, cancer treatment has advanced a long way. They could see that there was something wrong, and I would just say, I have leukemia, and they, have me in remission. I have a stem cell uh, donor prepared to give me his stem cells, and what a wonderful age we're living in, where this isn't automatically a fatal diagnosis of having leukemia. There's a lot of hope out there for people like me. And so I tried to use humor and the blessing that we're living in the age we are, where it isn't automatically a death sentence when you have leukemia. And the loss of hair is just part of it. And as you can see now, it is, coming in. It's a baby soft. It's a little strange. It's pretty thin up here, where before I used to joke that I had hair that looked like Blagojevich, the governor of Illinois, who had that, thick, heavy hair. That's the way I used to look. And so, now that I have, hair coming in, but it's so thin up top, this is different. And I don't know if this is going to be for the rest of my life or not, but the fact is I'm still here. I would trade being thin on top for, living a full life once again any day of the week. So this is just something that we all have to come to grips with. It is, you know, our initiation into this exclusive club of cancer survivors. So, once again, just settle it in your heart. This isn't permanent. This is a temporary appearance that you're going through, but it's nothing to be ashamed of. So, anyway, once again, wish you well. God bless. Have a great day. Take care.